You should have been here at the beginning to set the standard for everybody else because it's gotten away from me. But I'm going to yield now to the chairman of the Social Security Subcommittee on Ways and Means for rebuttal. The gentleman from Georgia, yield 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I am just thrilled to know, and I say this with sincerity, that my colleague offering this amendment is as passionate about securing benefits for retirees as Republicans are. And I think that one of the things that we need to recognize is that this is a big issue, and it will be solved in a bipartisan manner. And this budget resolution sets up a bipartisan debt commission, and that will be one of the functions of that is to address that in a bipartisan way. If we do nothing, we will wind up paying beneficiaries significantly less by year 2033. So doing nothing is not an option. But I will also tell you that simply raising revenue by those people making $400,000 or more is not going to solve the problem either. It is not even going to solve a quarter of the problem, okay? No. Here's the other problem that I have with the amendment in talking about people making $400,000 or more and corporations paying more. Here's the problem. Social Security is a payroll tax. Corporations don't pay a payroll tax, right? They don't have it. So this is based off of payroll. So number one, it's got to be on payroll. The other thing too is I think that we've got to be. I think when we go into this discussion, we have to have political courage to have the discussion, and we've got to be intellectually honest with one another. And this issue cannot be used as a political dividing point, not one day longer. This is something that Republicans and Democrats are going to have to be bold, strong, courageous, smart, tactical, and we're going to have to do this in a very thoughtful way going forward. We may need to look at other ways of solving this beyond simply increasing thresholds like Ms. Schakowsky has recommended here. I would say before we raise one dime of revenue or increase taxes on our fellow Americans by so much as 1 penny, we should get the waste, fraud, and abuse out of the system. And our Social Security Subcommittee, there is bipartisan support for doing just that. We have been having multiple hearings, and quite candidly, the improper payments piece of this is significant. So we should be investing more in the technology side of this within the administration. We should be investing more, or actually what we should be doing is making sure that the Social Security Administration is deploying the resources that have already been allocated in a very smart way and an efficient way to be able to get the best bang for the buck when it comes to our IT. We should be seeing how they're using AI to speed up the process. We should be demanding that they use AI to help against fraud claims and to help fraudulent the criminals that are defrauding the system. There's a lot of stuff that we should be doing right now to deal with the improper payments and the misallocation of funds with the current revenue streams. And then we got to be thoughtful about how we go into it. Look, we've got the amendment that we had just prior to this, dealing with climate change. I think a lot of my colleagues on the other side of the aisle are going to be shocked one day when they wake up and realize that this massive environmental movement has been funded by Vladimir Putin and the Chinese Communist Party over a long period of time. If we are look, defending the Ukraine is important to a lot of people in this body. We've had an amendment on it so far. But why in the world would we not be smart about what we're doing? And if we're going to fund the Ukraine, let's cut off Putin's war machine. Let's cut off his funding stream. Why don't we open up LNG exports to Europe in a massive way? Why don't we undercut Putin's revenue stream? Why don't we undercut Iran's? But we're making false choices here. Fund the Ukraine, but go after crazy environmental policy that's undermining American competitiveness around the world. Why don't we increase the export of our American clean energy and technology, use it to help win this battle in the Ukraine, and simultaneously, why don't we use the excess revenue to pay down our debt or to help solve a major issue like Social Security funding? Instead of using this as a political tool, Let's use our brains and figure out smart ways of doing this. Mr. Chairman, if I could, I know I've kind of gone on a little bit here, but there's some information I'd like to have submitted to the record.
Yes, sir.
And this is the Board of Trustees report for dated 3/21/23. If I could have that submitted to the record, and sir, I yield back.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman's time has expired, and reserve now the last minute for